Welcome back. Today we want to talk about how to network when you don't have a network.
Yes, we hear this so often from students that come to us, especially this audience of relaunchers. You really feel like if you've been out of the game, that you've completely lost your network.
And statistically speaking, though, your network is the way you will get a job.
Right.
It's simply the only way you're going to get a job after, especially after a career break.
Yes.
Yep.
So, but if you have been on a career break, you're probably thinking, I don't have a network. And yes, you do. And we are going to teach you how here today.
Yeah.
So you're going to start thinking of your network as concentric circles, right?
Yeah.
So like, where are you
One,
moving?
2, 3,
Yes.
4, 5. So you always want to start in the concentric circles in the easy one. And the easy one is going to be that first circle that's closest to you. That's your family. That's your close friends. They're the people that you see on a regular basis that you have an intimate relationship with, that you feel comfortable with. Because particularly if you've taken time off from work, building a professional network is going to feel very daunting and intimidating. So start with those people who are close to you.
And this goes for adult children. The kids that came and filled up your basement on any given weekend. They're out there. They potentially working, connecting. That's part of your network.
And the thing to remember is that your network doesn't have to be hiring managers and CEOs. Your network is either anyone who has a job or is connected to people who have jobs. So it's basically anyone. We had one student, remember, she was looking to get into a customer success role in tech.
Right.
She was returning after a 8-year career break and was looking to pivot into something new. And she was kind of slowly working her network. And then at Thanksgiving, she finds out that one of her husband's 9 siblings was in the role that she wanted.
Right.
So don't ignore the people that are closest to you. Start there.
Sitting right next to the cranberry sauce.
And then the second circle is the people that you see in daily life. You may not have those deep, intimate relationships, but the people you see in your fitness class, at your place of worship, the people you're volunteering with at the school event, the people you see on the sidelines, the people you're volunteering with or maybe working in a part-time job with. That is that next circle. You're comfortable with them. Maybe not as comfortable as you are with your best friend or your sister, but you've got that comfort level and you can start talking to them. The third, and this is where our students get tripped up most, right?
Yeah.
It's those former colleagues and clients.
Right.
You want to talk about that a little bit?
Well, I think there is a hurdle that you have to get over in your mind that, well, I stepped out and they went on with their career. And I mean, I have nothing in common with them anymore. Or I feel shameful. We hear this all the time, that we feel some sense of shame that, you know what, you went on that track and I went on this track and my track feels like a lesser track than yours. And so I feel shameful and that you might have questions about me. And what we have learned, we have learned this firsthand from our students. That is so in your head. And if you use that as your mindset, we guarantee you're going to stay stuck and you're not going to make those connections. But if you push through that barrier, as many of our students have, you really realize, gosh, these people knew me back in the day. They knew what I brought to the table, and they're looking and often really willing to support you.
They're excited to hear back from you.
Oh my goodness. 9 times out of 10, that's what happens. And if they aren't excited to hear back from you, they might just ghost you, and there you go. Then you have your answer.
I saw an interview with Sheryl Sandberg years ago, and she was talking about the choice. And for women who are older, we had fewer choices because there weren't a lot of options to work flexibly. It was kind of like all or nothing. And I remember her saying that she knew that the women that were stay-at-home moms in her community felt intimidated by her.
Yes.
But she felt intimidated by them.
Yes.
Because I think as moms, we are always struggling with these kind of black and white decisions. So also just think about that fact that maybe that former colleague who didn't take her career break is looking at you and thinking, wow, she really is amazing that she did this.
Yes.
So
and I think that needle is moving.
I think so.
There are, companies that are popping up now that are really speaking to this, of that, taking that time away from work and really investing in that part of your life and making that a conscious choice. And so I feel like as we continue to grow and evolve, that is going to feel less and less. And so if we can just remove that shame, and truly the only person that's going to remove the shame from it is you. So just don't make that an obstacle in your head.
As we move from the circles, family, friends, now we move out to that outer circle. And these are the people that you don't know, but that you have some type of connection with. And one of the best networks we found for this is alumnus. So either from your undergraduate or your graduate program, finding people, they don't have to be your year, they don't have to be people you've ever known, but there's a great affinity for people from the same university or college, and tapping into that network as well. That makes it a lot bigger. So that's kind of that outer circle. Better to kind of test your chops a little bit on those inner circles first.
Yeah. So now let's talk about when people should actually tap into that network. And not by asking this question, oh, can I just pick your brain about something? You do not want to use that line. And
it's too general and it's gross.
Yes. Yeah. So when you're approaching your network, you want to ask really specific questions. Clarity here is key. So let's talk about that.
You want to make sure you know exactly what you want from that connection, because the pick your brain
Don't
thing,
waste
even
their
though,
time.
right, the pick your brain thing, even though it's very commonly used, but it doesn't really give me any specificity about what you want from me. So you're ready to reach out to someone when you have a clear idea of what help you need. So even if you're reaching out to your sister on Thanksgiving, for example, in this case, your sister-in-law, she needed to know what she was asking for. And in this case, what she was asking for is, can you tell me all about what a customer success role is like? What do you do every day? That's perfectly acceptable way to network with someone, just to ask for information. Maybe you're interested in a specific organization. Now, maybe let's just use her as an example. Maybe she wasn't looking to be in customer success, but her sister-in-law worked for Salesforce and she was interested in that organization. Yeah. So it could be, I want to learn more about your organization.
Right.
Okay. It could also be something much more specific, like, I know I want a job. I know I want this job at this organization. Can you connect me with someone either in this job so I can learn more about it, or someone who hires for this job, or a recruiter in your organization? So having that clear ask, I think what we need to remember is that people feel very stretched for time.
Yep.
If you can enter into that engagement with a very specific ask, with a real purpose, that person's going to feel better because they can help you.
Yes.
And you're not going to waste your time or theirs. It's going to be very efficient.
Yes. I think the key is having a meaningful conversation, right? That is what you're trying to do.
And they're all going to be different.
Right.
I'm going to ask something different of you than I'm going to ask of Nicole, than I'm going to ask of Megan. Right. And the key is that planning. Yeah. So actually, the networking event, the call or the conversation is going to be shorter than the planning. The planning is going to take longer. The next piece is you can't really enter into a networking conversation until you can clearly tell your story.
Right.
And we have
video. Those videos also have templates that go along with
to really understand how to tell your story. But the general framework is, I had a successful career in X.
Blah, blah, blah.
And I loved it.
Right.
And I made a really tough decision to leave it, to stay home for X number of years, to care for my family. And that family could be an ill spouse. It could be elderly parents. It could be children. You don't need to get in the weeds of that. Just gloss over it. But the key is that I was really good at what I did. I made a tough decision. Yeah. And during the time that I was doing this caregiving, I maintained my skills. I learned new skills doing Y and Z. So making sure that you're accounting for that time. And now I'm looking to bring all of it back to the workforce, and I'm looking for your help. So once you're clear on that story, then you're ready to have that networking conversation. You don't show up with a 8-year-old resume. I have no idea what I want to do. I've been home for 8 years with kids. That's not the way to
here to pick your brain.
Exactly. Yeah. That's
none of that.
Exactly not what to do. Yes. And then, of course, when you have specific questions, as I mentioned earlier, to ask that person that you've written down, that you're going to prepare ahead of time, that are unique to that person, and that also are something that you can't get elsewhere. Mm-hmm. So don't ask, what's your company mission statement? You can read the website to find out. Don't waste their time. And don't waste your time. Ask questions of them that they only can answer.
Right.
Okay.
So last, and I think this is probably the one that probably has our audience most unnerved, is how should. So what's the how? How should I reach out to someone?
Right. When is
that
it
I've now targeted as I've got my story. I know what I'm asking. Yeah. But how should I do that?
Yeah. Well, a couple of things. I mean, your goal ultimately is to have some type of personal meeting with this person. Right. So either in person or via some type of video chat. Last choice would be phone. This is not an email back and forth. Honestly, as people who get networked with a lot, email's a lot harder for me than a phone call.
I agree.
I mean, I can talk while I'm driving.
Yes.
But anyway, so the goal is to get that in-person meeting. How you get it might change. So if Kelly's someone I know from the sidelines, I might approach her on the sideline and say, Kelly, I had this great career in marketing. I'm looking to return after a brief stay at home. I've got many more skills now to bring to the table, and I would love to set up some time to talk to you about what you do. I'm really interested in what you do.
Right.
That would be one example. Let's say it's someone you run into at PTO night.
Okay.
Bill, really great to see you. Hey, I would love to set up some time to meet with you to learn more about XYZ company where you work. Can I just send you a text? Be careful with text, because text connotes very casual relationship. So you can use it for scheduling, but you don't want to use it as your method of communication. You wouldn't have that conversation by Bill saying, hey, can you tell me about your company via text? That's not. So again, the goal is to have that personal meeting.
Well, and you're elevating and you're setting the stage for this is a professional conversation. Right. I'm happy to schedule with you via text, but I'm not writing you some big long drawing
and asking you to ask
story.
Right.
And you want the professional respect for your own self, right? You want to give that to your own self that, hey, you know what? This is important to me.
Yeah.
I want to be taken seriously. And so I'm going to use these different steps.
So if I have Bill's phone number, if I could do a text.
Yep.
I would prefer to do an email or even a LinkedIn message. So if you have a LinkedIn page,
yes.
I saw Bill last night at PTO. I said hello to him. And then I get home and say, Bill, great to see you at the meeting last night. I'm doing a career relaunch. I would love to get 10 minutes of your time to learn about your work at XYZ. So the methodology isn't so important as the goal, which is some type of face-to-face phone or video meeting. And that's where you're going to ask your specific questions of that person.
Yes.
That's networking. It's talking.
Yeah. So there you have it.
Yeah.
There you have it. And if you liked what you heard today, you can learn more about us at www.preparetolaunchu.com. Thanks.